Igbo, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be discussing Ndi-Otu in Igbo Cosmology. Now, Ndi-Otu, we call them soul group. Now, first of all, for us to have a better understanding of the Igbo cosmological system, we need to first of all see things from a parallel angle, from the parallel angles of Kodina Madu, Kodina Mmuo. As it is done in the spirit, therefore, so shall it be done in the spirit. Now, Ndi-Otu are primarily a collection of reincarnated souls that fall under the same Iowa. They exist in two parts, the living and the spiritual group. Now, the living are probably me and you, because we belong to this soul group of Ndi-Otu. Now, the spiritual aspect of them are people who did not basically live and fulfill their cosmic purpose. People that have died, our age group or age mate that have actually died, and we are not able to basically achieve or live up to this age that some of us are living. So them, they form or they make up our spiritual part of our Otu, while me and you and probably people that fall under the same age bracket as you and I are going to basically fall under the physical aspects of this soul group. This soul group that we talk about are usually parts or aspects of our Ezumezu, our Mmuo, that can be directly responsible for inflicting negative energies that we refer to as Obonoki. Now, the infliction of this negative energy is as a result of a deviation from our collective Iowa, the Iowa that binds us together, that binds us to this soul group. And secondly, the result of an unalignment with this part of our Mmuo. Now, as Igbo people, we need to understand that each of the rituals, sacrifices that we perform are targeted to either aligning with these forces, acknowledging their existence, and above all, to clear our path or to appease them if we have offended them in whatever capacity. Now, the deviation from this Iowa can be detrimental to our achievement or to the achievement of our individual cosmic purpose, because in Igbo we believe that we did not just come into this world to just exist and die. We came here to have experiences. We came here we came here with a purpose, and we are expected cosmically to fulfill such purposes before we basically die, which would even determine if we are going to reincarnate back or if we are going to join our ancestors and become what Ndi-Igbo know as Ndi-Ichie. Because this deviation is detrimental to our path, now it becomes the responsibility of this Otunde to basically help us to realign us in this cosmic path. That is why they usually inflict us with this Obonoki energy, Obonoki negative energy, and basically influence some kind of misfortunes with the intention or the hope to basically realign us back for us to do what we are supposed to do and basically perform our duty, therefore realigning us back to our Iowa. Now, some of us are going to question, okay, why don't they communicate better? Why don't they communicate with things that they can actually use without basically harming people or causing these kinds of misfortune? Now, the problem is that because of socialization and because of this deviation and because of family Christianity, that most of us have now been unaligned, that even if this soul group are communicating with us, we will not even understand that they are communicating with us, because in Igbo spirituality, these spirits or essence and energies, they basically communicate through dreams. Now, there are so many dream interpretations that we have that that Christianity or the church have actually interpreted as something that is bad or is something demonic. It is somebody that it is a devil or witches that are trying to harm or hurt you. So even when these Otu are trying to communicate with some of those symbols like masquerades or dog or snakes, we would not necessarily understand it because of our socialization. What we are having at the back of our mind at that point is that this is from the devil. Then we will not basically understand the information they are trying to pass. So the only way that they can actually do that is by making our life to be uncomfortable. So once your life is uncomfortable, it would push you into seeking out to know if there is something, now to know if there is something that you should do to align yourself back. And normally it is done through the rites or the rituals of Ike Obonoki. The infliction of this Nseke or Obonoki is usually done by members of our soul group that did not live long enough to fulfill their own purpose, such as people that died prematurely, probably at childbirth, people that died through accidents, people that, deaths that indeed will be considered maduna onye na nwuro onwuchi ya, people that did not die at their appointed time, people that died unfortunately, people ndị gbajiri n'ike. Now basically sometimes we call them angry spirits because yes, they are angry, because to them you have a chance, a privilege that they do no longer have, and you are not making use of those privileges. So it is going to make them to attack you with this nseke or negative energies. Now, as in the Igbo, whatever we do, we believe that the recognition of this spiritual aspect of us, because we refer to them as Ife or Ndi-Otu, spirit beings or spirit energies that come into this world or reincarnated into this world with you or with me. And the main intention there is that they are supposed to help you, to guide you, to direct you into fulfilling your cosmic purpose, so that at the end of your life you will not have a reason to basically reincarnate into this realm again. You will basically live on and now serve a capacity as Nwada or Nwaokpo Adora. So our ancestors recommended these rites and rituals as a way to help us reconnect or to basically fix this bridge. Now, because of Christianity and because of our socialization, a lot of things have changed. Each of these rituals that we're performing now in our adulthood are things that our fathers are supposed to have done for us back in the day. Probably at infancy, once they give birth to you, your father, your mother, they begin to basically perform these rites that are targeted at basically grooming you and making you to be a wholesome human being, so that in your adulthood you would basically shine and thrive without having all the spiritual vacuums that you would have to first of all go and fulfill. Now, because these people are hugely tied to our existence, our ancestors did not see them as negative, as bad energies. It's something that you give them their own, and you're able to live your life and live your life the way you want to live it. But if you have this dissonance or disconnection with them, it will become a problem, because they are also answerable to you and you're answerable to them. So what happens when at the point of death you now meet your Otu and you begin to question them, why didn't they tell you, even if they made several efforts? So these are like mythologies and beliefs that our ancestors actually have, that that helped them in living their life back in the day. So I hope you're able to understand the concept of soul group Ndi-Otu. Now, although we also have different kinds based on Ebe Mmadụ si wee bịa ụwa or Ụzọ Mmadụ si wee bịa ụwa. Now, for instance, our ancestors believe that some people reincarnated into this world from the water. We also believe that some other people reincarnated into this world through the land, the earth. So we now call them Ndisi Enuani wee bịa ụwa. So depending on the portal where you came, where you reincarnated, where your consciousness came into this realm from, that is how you're going to know which Otu you're attached to. Now again, there are so many different kinds of Otu. This particular soul group Otu, they differs. The Otu that I have would be different from the Otu that you have, and so are the Nso, the moralities, the principles that guide each of these sects. Now the Otu, the Nso, the morality or principle that guides me and my Otu would be different from the morality or principle that guides you and your Otu. So ofuaka ejikoro onye ọbụla. Everybody have their own part, everybody have their own. So what I'm going to encourage you is, if you're seeking to understand the Igbo system and you want to practice it, these are the things you have to identify, so that it is going to allow you or enable you to have a fulfilled and a good life. And until next time, yeah guys, so don't forget to like, share and comment. If you need any help or you want me to explain further, don't forget to reach out to me on my Instagram. And until next time, yeah guys, subscribe.